Let's talk about the Galaxy S26 Ultra leaks and why you shouldn't take the bait just yet. Every cycle, Samsung's meanest flagship gets wrapped in a fog of rumors that promise the future. This year, the Galaxy S26 Ultra leaks are louder than ever. 60W fast charging, satellite connectivity, a redesign to match its siblings, Key 2 magnetic charging, even whispers of a privacy display. But behind the excitement, the hard facts are thin. And what's confirmed won't feel like a revolution for most people. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of what's being touted for the Galaxy S26 Ultra looks like catch-up. Not leapfrog. Start with the certifications, the only pieces of paper that actually matter before launch. A 3C listing for the model number SM9480 points to direct satellite connectivity on at least one variant, support for up to 60 West wired charging, and a 5,000 mAh battery. The FCC listing adds another puzzle piece. The S26 Ultra is using the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, globally and in the US, while the smaller Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus could run Exynos 2600 in some markets. Those are baseline facts. Everything else is interpretation. Now, what do those facts actually mean? Let's start with 60 West wired charging. For Samsung, 60 West is a step forward. For the rest of the industry, it's a yawn. Several rivals have been pushing 80 to 120W for ages, with real 20 to 30-minute top-ups in the real world. If Samsung is finally moving from its conservative stance to 60 West, yes, you'll feel faster top-ups compared to older Ultras. But don't confuse peak wattage with actual charging time. The charge curve, heat management, and how quickly the phone ramps down matter just as much as the 60 West headline. Also, don't be surprised if you need to buy the 60W charger separately. Samsung has made BYO fast charger a habit. Faster? Likely. Class leading? No. Satellite connectivity is another headline grabber that sounds futuristic, but often lands as a niche safety net. The 3C documentation suggests direct satellite messaging or location sharing in emergencies. That's useful if you hike, drive through dead zones, or want a backup when networks fail. But temper expectations. This is not a satellite phone. It's almost certainly limited to emergency messages, possibly restricted by region and dependent on local infrastructure. The Galaxy S25 Ultra already dipped a toe in the satellite features. The S26 Ultra refining, it doesn't suddenly change your everyday experience. And then there's the battery, 5,000 mAh again. The dream of a bigger Ultra battery? Not happening if these listings hold. You might hear counter-arguments, but the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is more efficient. But Samsung's power management is better. Sure, efficiency gains are real, and software optimization matters, but battery capacity still equals headroom. A bigger tank is a bigger tank. If you are hoping for 5,200 to 5,500 mAh, this is a letdown. Expect endurance improvements to come from silicon and software, not raw capacity. Design changes are where the emotions start running hot. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is expected to move toward a more cohesive family look, with rounded corners and a camera island that mirrors the smaller Galaxy S26 models. In theory, that unifies the lineup. In practice, there's a real risk that the Ultra loses its identity and drifts visually towards Samsung's A-series mid-range phones. Whether that matters to you depends on how much you value brand aesthetics versus pure functionality. The new look could improve ergonomics and accessory fit, but for longtime Ultra fans, it may feel like Samsung is sanding down the edges that made Ultra feel. Well, Ultra Key 2 support might be the quiet star of this story. If the Galaxy S26 Ultra truly supports Key 2 magnetic alignment, you're looking at a practical upgrade with ripple effects. Better alignment means fewer missed coils, more consistent wireless charging, and a new wave of magnetic accessories, wallets, stands, power banks, car mounts that snap into place just like MagSafe. But don't conflate Key 2 with speed. Key 2 is about standardization and magnets. Charging wattage will still be whatever Samsung decides. Great for convenience, not a raw performance flex. Then there's the rumored privacy display. On paper, it's cool. Narrower viewing angles mean the person next to you on a bus won't read your notifications. In reality, privacy filters can cut perceived brightness and alter contrast off-axis. If Samsung nails the tech, it'll be a clever perk for commuters and frequent flyers. If they don't, it becomes a toggle you turn off on day 2 because your screen looks dim in sunlight. File this under wait for real-world tests. The processor split is straightforward but meaningful. The Galaxy S26 Ultra going Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 globally is good news for performance enthusiasts and camera nerds who care about sustained thermals and computational photography. For the non-Ultra Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus, Exynos 2600 in some regions is a gamble Samsung keeps taking. Exynos has improved, but historically, consistency under load and camera processing finesse have skewed towards Snapdragon. If you're in an Exynos market and you care about peak sustained gaming or video HDR performance, you'll want to see head-to-head testing before buying. What's missing from the leaks is just as telling as what's in them. We're not seeing credible evidence of a massive camera hardware overhaul, no new primary sensor breakthrough, no dramatic periscope leap. You'll hear about algorithmic tuning, eye scene detection, and marginal low-light gains. Those help, but they don't redefine mobile photography on their own. If Samsung wants to keep the Ultra crown, it needs relentless camera consistency, fewer HDR misses, truer skin tones, faster night mode capture, cleaner 4K and 8K thermals. That's where day-to-day flagship satisfaction lives, and none of the current leaks guarantee it. So, should you upgrade to the Galaxy S26 Ultra based on today's information? If you're on a Galaxy S25 Ultra, the honest answer is probably no unless you specifically want Key 2 magnets, 60 West wired charging, or you love the new design. If you're on a Galaxy S23 Ultra or older, the S26 Ultra starts to make sense. Better efficiency, faster top-ups, and a more modern accessory ecosystem will add up over the next 2 to 3 years. But if you were waiting for a bigger battery, a charging revolution, or a camera hardware leap, the leaks say this isn't that year. Release timing? Expect early next year, likely around February, after Samsung's strategy shuffle. And yes, the Galaxy S26 series will go head-to-head with Apple's iPhone 17 lineup for flagship mindshare. That doesn't change the calculus. Samsung's real challenge isn't shouting louder. It's delivering meaningful, felt improvements that justify the Ultra badge without diluting its identity. Here's the bottom line on the Galaxy S26 Ultra leaks. 60W wired charging is a welcome catch-up, not a revolution. Satellite connectivity is a smart safety feature, not a daily game dash changer. 5,000 Samsung is betting on efficiency, not capacity. The redesign could unify the lineup, but risks. A series vibes. Key 2 magnets might quietly be the most useful addition. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is promising. Exynos 2600 in non-Ultra models remains a question mark. Believe the certifications. Question the hype. If Samsung nails thermals, battery health controls, camera consistency, and Key 2 accessory support, the Galaxy S26 Ultra will be a refined, practical flagship. If not, it's another year of iterative upgrades dressed up as major milestones. Either way, don't let the noise make the decision for you. Wait for the hands-on test and make sure the Ultra you're buying is actually the upgrade you need.